What is going on? Welcome to another level up training. Today, we're going to be talking about pretty self-explanatory top 5 exercises to grow your glutes. Okay, if you want results like this, you want to grow your glutes and you want to do it the right way, here are 5 exercises you're going to need throughout your phasing and programming. Okay, so let's get into it. So, first one, and I'm going to play the video in the back as we do it, hip thrusts. Now, you can do this with a barbell, dumbbell, you can use a machine like she is. I love machine hip thrusts, they're very, very good. But why is this one good? Peak glute activation right at the top, okay? Oh, it doesn't replay. It's okay, I'll just keep replaying it. Right at the top, you get a lot of contraction. Okay, so it's a very, very good exercise to use, even over, and what I mean by peak glute activation is that over deadlifts or RDLs or squats, this is the number one. Okay, it's a glute biased loading pattern. What does that mean? It just means that this loads the glute a lot better because it biased, aka targets the glute a lot more, because you don't have to use other muscles as much to get the movement done, right? Your hamstrings, quads, things like that. You have to use your glutes more than anything else. It's a horizontal force vector, so it aligns better for your glutes. What does that mean? Whereas squats and RDLs are up and down, right? Where you are vertically up, this one you are horizontal. You're almost, in a sense, lying down, right? Which just targets the glutes a lot better. It's a full range glute contraction, so all that means is you're able to go all the way down that stretch right here and then come up, so full range. High volume tolerance. You can do a lot more weight on this exercise than on squats or RDLs or deadlifts, and you can do it a lot safer. Mechanical tension in shortened position. So right at the top, there's a lot more tension on your glute than you would have in a squat or RDL at the top, right? Those two exercises have a lot more tension at the bottom or in the stretch. This one has a lot of tension more at the top, which is great for the little muscle fibers. Progressive overload friendly. So just like high volume tolerance, you can go higher. You could program them more in the week, and it's just a very good exercise, okay? And it's just honestly a little bit safer to even do a little bit more weight. Next, RDLs. Where is the RDL video? There it is. Oh, perfect. Okay, so this is a hip hinge dominant movement. So it provides eccentric control. So this eccentric movement when she's coming down, you can control that a lot better, which allows you to stretch your glutes a lot more. Okay, and the concentric hip extension. So concentric means when she's coming back up. A lot more hip extension, a lot more of your hips to be active, which means your glutes will also be active as well, right? Your glutes are gonna perform really well at hip extension, and that's what this does really well at, okay? Eccentric overload, that just means it's overloaded a lot in the stretch position at the bottom, which when you can overload something a lot in the stretch, it helps break the muscle fiber so much to grow more, okay? Stretch mediated hypertrophy, again, that ability for your muscle to stretch in this position at a high weight. Hypertrophy just means muscle growth, so glute growth, okay? It's just a very, very good exercise to use in order to create glute hypertrophy, aka glute growth, because of the stretch you're getting. That stretch really rips the muscle apart, so it can come back even stronger and bigger. High mechanical tension at long muscle lengths. Okay, basically the same thing I'm saying. I'm just trying to sound smart, guys, okay? So again, long muscle length just means when it's in the stretch position. Type 2 fiber recruitment, so fast twitch muscles. These get activated pretty well in this exercise. So a fast twitch muscle is just more of these smaller muscles that can add to a lot of size as well as overall strength in other areas. So if you can activate those smaller muscles in this exercise for your glutes, they'll perform better in your hip thrusts, in your squats, and other movements you're gonna do as well. And scalable progression. So it's just easier to do progressive overload at a higher weight. Okay. Squats. Now, you could do them with a dumbbell, with barbells, with the Smith machine like I'm using here. But I use a Smith machine. I like it a lot. Doesn't mean I'm doing more a quad focused one here. Now, if you want to target actually even more of the glutes, your glutes are going to get activated. But if you want to target the glutes even more, all you have to do is move your feet out a little bit more. Okay? If you move your feet forward a little bit more and you align your knee with your toes, only on the Smith machine or hack squats or things like that, you'll actually target the glutes a little bit more. So multi-joint compound movement, which means more glute activation because more muscles are being used throughout your body, just allows you to activate the glutes a little bit more. Hip extension loading, again, just like RDLs, it just allows for hip extension loading, which is just better for the glute biased movement. Mechanical tension, what is mechanical tension? Mechanical tension just means that how much weight are you using? How much tension are you putting on the muscle? Your muscle doesn't know the difference between a hack squat, a barbell squat, a Smith machine squat, or a dumbbell squat. All it knows is how heavy and how much stress is on the muscle, how much tension is on the muscle. I find you can do a lot more on hack squats on Smith machines than you can do on barbell, and obviously with dumbbell. So I prefer the Smith machine over anything else. Progressive overload potential, so you can obviously put a lot of weight on this. Stretch, mediate hypertrophy. Again, all the way at the bottom here, you get a very good stretch, especially if your your feet are a little bit more forward. You get a lot more stretch in the glutes, which again helps muscle growth in the glutes. Increased muscle fiber recruitment, so just more muscles are being used in this exercise for your glutes. Cable kickbacks, everybody's favorite. So this one is a little bit different because it isolates the glutes more than anything else. It's a constant tension in your glute because you're not using your quads, you're not using your hamstrings, you're literally just using your glute to actually perform the movement, right? So it just targets the glute a lot better. Tension throughout the range of motion. So because the cable allows for tension throughout, it's actually a great movement because as you come away from the actual cable machine, let me play it again. As you come away, more tension gets loaded onto your glute. So that's what they mean by tension throughout the range of motion. Even as you come closer, there's still tension, a little bit less, but throughout the whole movement, there's tension. Allows for controlled tempo and mind-muscle connection. See how she's not kicking and flaring everything. She's not moving the rest of her body. She's really, really thinking, let me get my glutes activated. Let me use it to push the weight out, kick the weight back. So that mind-muscle connection of you actually using your glutes, key throughout this whole movement. And the control helps a lot, right? Going slow, getting a stretch, and then kicking up at a controlled pace. Adjustable line of resistance. So the cable is here, but you can move it up and down, right? So you could target different parts of your glute as you move this up or down on the actual cable. It just depends on what do you want to target, right? Or what part of your glute do you want to target. Improves glute activation for compound movement. So if your glutes are stronger as you isolate the movement, it's going to get stronger in other areas, which will help your squats, your hip thrusts, and your RDLs, which again just translate to you growing your glutes even more, because if you can put more weight on the bar or use more weight in general on other exercises, especially heavy compound lifts, your glutes are going to grow naturally as well, okay? And highly modifiable for progressive overload, so you can just increase the weight pretty easily and pretty safely, as well as this is a very, very good movement if you have joint issues. If you're trying to grow your glutes and you feel like you have knee pain all the time or stiffness and this and that, this is a good one to add in because it's very low stress on your joints. Obviously, you need to do the other exercises as well. Oops. Before we do that one, you need to do the other exercise as well, but this is just good to isolate it. And the last one, which you probably just saw, probably the worst one, the scariest one, the saddest one, split squats, buddy. Okay, so this targets the glute maximus and medius, right? So the smaller part of your glute as well as the overall glute. Unilateral training, so better muscle and balance correction. So when you start training, you're going to notice that one side might be stronger than the other. And that's just natural. That's just like everyday life, right? But this allows you to focus on one leg at a time, one glute at a time. And because of that, it allows you to actually grow it better because you're not just using one side more than the other. And it just helps with overall safety of doing the exercise and exercise in the gym in general. Greater range of motion, right? More mechanical tension. So what is the greater range of motion? So you can get very deep because you can go all the way back, right? That hip flexion and extension, which goes back and forward, that just helps a lot with the overall growth of your glute because you're able to stretch out your glute more, okay? Reduces load on the spine. So unlike, your hip thrusts, well, not so much hips, but let's talk about RDL and your squats where the weight is on the top of your back. This is on the, you're just holding a dumbbell and you don't have to hold it like, a 100-pound dumbbell. You could probably do a 100-pound, 200-pound squat, but you can do less weight. It's on the side of you. It's not on top of your back. So there's less issues on your spine. Not that the squats or RDLs will give you issues as long as you're doing it right. Progressive overload friendly, so pretty easy to continue to increase the weight safely by holding another heavier dumbbell. Better high EMG activation, which just means how well did the muscle and nerves actually activate and work in this actual exercise. And for your glutes, very, very high EMG activation. So, let me play it as I'm saying. So it's just a great overall exercise. Obviously, nobody's favorite, but it gets the job done if you want to grow your glutes. Because if you want to look like this or you want your glutes to grow like this, you've got to do these. You got to do these exercises, right? You don't have to do them every single phase of your training, but in order to maximize glute growth or muscle growth in general, but let's talk about glute growth specifically, because that's what a lot of my clients want. You want to program these things for a very long period of time. Some of my clients keep some of these exercises for a year straight. I might do modifications or I might do variations like, oh, you know what, we'll do it in a pulse state. Or maybe instead of barbell, we're going to go to Smith machine. Instead of Smith machine, let's go to hack squat. So we'll do different variations, but at the end of the day, all these movements and all these movement patterns are still in there, right? And it's because these are my top 5 to help you grow your glutes. Another one that's in here that I haven't actually, maybe I should have put, but I didn't for the sake of what I actually think are the best and what has helped my clients are the abduction machines, right? The one where you're sitting and you're pushing the machine out with your legs. You actually can hover over it, keep your glutes off the bench, lean back a little bit, and that actually helps more. I've made videos where I talk about leaning forward, but there's a lot of studies that show leaning back on the abduction machine, keeping your glutes up, and then moving it is actually a lot better for your glute growth. So that's another one that's actually pretty underrated in my opinion, actually. And that's it. Happy hump day. It's a Monday, but hey, you know what? If you're trying to grow your glutes, every day is happy hump day. So other than that, hope you guys enjoyed this. Let me know in the comments what you guys would like to see next in terms of questions you have with training, fitness, nutrition, anything, mindset stuff. I got you, and I look forward to seeing you in the next one. Oh, also, don't forget, subscribe, like, comment. Appreciate you guys, and I hope you enjoyed this.